Hi traders, Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. Today is Thursday, November the 12th. If you're in the southern hemisphere, for the traders who are in the northern hemisphere, it's early morning, just getting started. Today we're going to go through the pound USD, the pound Canadian, the euro yen, and the euro USD on the 1 hour charts, and I'm going to pass on to you one of the biggest tips I think there is in Forex trading. So stay tuned. I think you're going to get a lot out of this. So let's get started with the euro USD. We're going to review yesterday's session, which would be Wednesday, November the 11th. And first I'm going to go through these charts, and then I'm going to go, each chart we'll go through, and I'm going to explain I think something that you'll find very, very interesting. So yesterday, obviously, we saw a fairly strong run-up into the early part of the session with the euro USD breaking out quite strongly into the Asian session. As we got towards the end of that the morning, the euro broke out strongly. Now whenever I see that situation, we're looking at possibly an engulfment pattern, and we just want to project that horizontal price level across. And of course, this just to reinforce, the first candle in the yellow boxes is the 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. candle, New York Eastern Standard Time, and the blue session is of course the beginning of the U.S. session. And just want to point something out in that there's a high correlation between 2 and 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York, of a high or a low being established for the daily session in a majority of the cases. Now, in this particular case, our 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5 a.m. candles actually do not form a high or a low for the 24-hour session, but they do indeed form a high for the Europe session, which during Asia we saw the big sell-off prior to the London and Europe Open, but we do see that formed a ceiling for selling, and selling occurred all above the 3 to 4 a.m. candle. We're going to go back through the last few days. I'm going to encourage you to do your own research on that, but just a little insight that could give you some real when you're trading your own system, regardless of the time frame, just a really interesting thing to be looking for in your own trading is that a high or a low for that 24-hour session could be established between 2 and 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. In this particular case, we saw a huge run-up with the euro, which isn't really necessarily a normal pattern for the euro, but we did see that occur. Then, of course, a huge sell-off afterwards as the U.S. market started to come on, and then that was pulled back and we retraced back into that selling area, and the market consolidated into the later part of that session. So if we go back, we'll go back a few days and we'll just look at the yellow box. The first candle again is the 2 to 3 a.m. candle. So this is the 3rd of November. So that 2 a.m. candle did indeed form a high for the session. We go across to the next day, and again we saw a bit of a sell-off occur, and then we see the 2 a.m., 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5 a.m. candle set up. So in this particular case, we saw more of a middle move, and then the market broke out again. So not in that particular day we did not see a high or a low established, but again we did see a mid-move of a sell-off, a mid-move pause pattern there. The following day we see the 10 o'clock candle. I'm calling it the 10 o'clock candle because I'm on the 24-hour charts, but in this particular case it would be the 3 to 4 a.m. candle Eastern Standard Time, New York, which formed not necessarily the high of that session, but it did indeed form one of the extremes where selling obviously occurred for the rest of that session, and indeed into the next early part of Asia. So just continuing that across, we saw the Europe market come on board, the 2 to 3 candle, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. So not that we saw a sell-off occur prior to that, and again there we go. That 3 to 4 a.m. candle did indeed form a high for that Europe session. So not an absolute about it being the high and the low all the time, but again, I think you see where I'm going with this. We see a bullish break. The 2 to 3 a.m. candle formed a low. The market continued to auction upwards into the beginning of the U.S. session, inside bar, retracement, consolidation. So for the Europe session, again, we saw a low established, and then that market continued to auction higher until the beginning of the U.S. market. The following day, our 2 to 3 a.m. candle, and we see the high for that 24-hour session between the 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 a.m. candle. So again, that's the euro. We'll take a look at the pound. Yesterday's session, Wednesday, November the 11th, again similar pattern. We saw the pound auction up strongly into the beginning of the Asian session, and as the London and Europe markets opened, we saw the 2 to 3 a.m. candle, the 3 to 4 a.m. candle, and the 4 to 5 a.m. candle pull back and auction a bit lower, retesting that original breakout. Now the pound then continued to auction up strongly into the early part of Asia this morning, but again that 4 to 5 a.m. candle did form the low of that 24-hour session, but for the low of that European session. So let's just go back a couple of days and take a look at that as well. So on the 10th of November, we saw the 3 to 4 a.m. candle form a low for that 24-hour session. On the 9th, we see a bit of a bullish run up into Europe, and then the 4 to 5 a.m. candle and the 2 to 3 a.m. candle form that lower extreme for the rest of that session. I think you get the idea. If we see a pattern of movement prior to the Europe market opening, we may look to see one of those early candles establish a high or a low for that session, depending on if there's been a breakout occur. Coming backwards, we see a tight consolidated sideways range in Asia, then the 3 to 4 a.m. candle forming the high for that 24-hour session. This is just a little bit of a tool to put in your toolbox. Obviously, depending on how you're trading, just something to keep in mind. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. The 5 a.m. candle again forms the extreme. If you're trading the U.S. markets, this might be an important thing to pay attention to if you're seeing a continuation of a move out of Asia into Europe. So, again, just to reiterate, you'll see this consistently show up over and over again, and if you're using 1-hour charts or 5-minute charts, even with the 5-minute charts, look for the significant turnarounds as one of these higher lows may be establishing itself. And if you're trading on a shorter time frame, look for these rollover times of the tops of the hours to possibly be an opportunistic time for a turning point, rather than necessarily any time during the hour. Just a thought, always do your own due diligence and back testing. Just in closing, traders, I hope you got something out of this. Remember, stay focused, stay committed to daily progress and improving every single day. If you're improving on one thing every day with your trading and your psychology, your methodology, your money management, where will you be in 12 months? Where will you be in 2 years, 5 years, and 10 years? Stay committed to the vision, stay focused, always stay with the mindset of constant improvement, and stay disciplined. Hope you got some value out of this. If you enjoyed it, please share it on Facebook. Always like to receive your comments. If you have a question, hit me up on Twitter at Dr. Stacey Burke. Have a great day, traders, and may the markets go with you. Hi traders, it's Stacey Burke from Stacey Burke Trading. If you haven't done so, please head over to my website at staceyburketrading.com. I create updates on almost a daily basis, and I would love for you to receive them. Just click on the blog. If you want to enter your name and your email address, I'll send you my free audio program, the 7-Step Daily Routine for High Performance Traders. This is essential knowledge for all traders in all markets, and this is for helping traders to master the market with discipline, confidence, and a winning mindset. I appreciate all your feedback and comments. As always, traders, stay disciplined, and may the markets go with you.